Hello, Gemini. I hope you had a great Christmas and great holidays. What you have up on your screen is the 2025 transits with degrees. And right after Taurus, um, Aries, then Taurus, right after that, I actually decided to personalize each each transit, each 2025 transit to each sign because you guys will be experiencing different energies. Some will impact more than others. So I've put it up so you can take a screenshot of it. So that's January, and then you can either follow or look at it at your leisure, or when I'm going through the transits, you can follow along with me and match to your natal chart. That's March. This is April, May, and June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And if I went too fast, like I said, you can rewind. Or I'm also going to speed up the volume because there's a lot of information. So if it's way too fast for you guys, you can always click on the tools icon on the video and slow it down. And the other thing I wanted to have you take a screenshot of is the direct and retrograde dates for Mars in Cancer and Leo, if you want. And for you, since you are ruled by Mercury, I did outline the three Mercury retrogrades this year. You can take a screenshot of that. And then I will also be discussing the Venus retrograde dates. So that's that. And the nodal axes changed this year. So that's that. Okay. And I'm not going to have a generic intro. I'm going to jump straight into your sign. So we're going to boogie woogie. And let me change this. So as I mentioned in the beginning, is that you're so over 2024. You'll probably be one of the signs that'll use that New Year meme where it's like 2024 exits, and you'll be saying, "Don't let the door hit you" as you exit, mainly because of Pluto and Capricorn that has been transiting your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, taboos and secrets, um, taxes, government benefits, and the mortgage or the house. Um, Also, because of Uranus and Taurus for the past 7 years, because that has been in your 12th house of secrets of the past, behind the scenes of your faith, any drug or alcohol use, taking care of maybe an elderly parent, or it could be someone else, and just teaching you compassion and all that. But it's Uranus. Uranus is an air, it rules Aquarius, which is an air sign, and Uranus is the planet of shock, surprise, and electricity. And it doesn't really do compassion really well. It doesn't do a lot of, because the 12th house is associated with Pisces natally, and that's a water sign. So it's much more of a smooth thing. But with Uranus, it's much more shocking and abrupt. So you might have had surprises in your 12th house, or secrets revealed, or or you could have been enlightened by rethinking the past and your faith. But it has been a wild ride with Uranus. Uranus is feast or famine, and it has been up and down, and it opposes your sixth house of daily routine, work, scheduling, health, even small pets. So that's been disrupted because of the opposition of Uranus to that house of yours. And it's just been erratic. And you're so over that too. And also because Saturn has been in Pisces for the last 2.5 years. It entered around March, April of 2023. And then it went on until it started retrograding back in August, September of last year. Um, and prior to that, Neptune was in Pisces. Now, Pisces is your 10th house of career status, reputation, authority figures, any charitable work here. And status is referred to like married, not married, single, not single, the mother of such and such, or the father of such and such. It's a status symbol. And Saturn has really come down hard on you with regarding your career and status. Saturn is like the stern father that you not necessarily are scared of, but more of like you have to earn the respect of, or that professor that you have to earn the respect of. And you have had a challenging couple of years. You might have worked for someone who was dare I say, maybe a narcissist, or some of you will say evil, or somebody who was really strict and was never pleased with what was going on with how you performed your job, maybe. Or it could have been that they would find fault with everything. So Saturn withholds things until you commit that, come hell or high water, yes, this is what I want. I'll take the good with the bad. I'll take that despite its angst. And then Saturn rewards you with that, and nothing can take it away from you. But it's been rough, to say the least, for the last 2.5 years regarding that 10th house of career and status for you. And it could have been maybe not bosses or a job. It could have been maybe a partner of some kind. And anybody who can hold up a mirror to you, who knows you real well, can be considered a partner. And but in with Saturn, he could have manifested into, like, let's say that you're a father or a father figure, or maybe a mother. A mother can be like a strict Saturn person, or it could have been um, maybe a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband that had some kind of authority to them, or maybe even a friend. Um, but you experience a lot of restrictions. Maybe it manifested through colleagues. And most of you hated this transit, but hang on, we have more to say on that. It's going to get better. And then also because you're the one who's going to say to 2024, don't let the door hit you, is because you've had a rough patch with a partner, um, or a partnership the last couple of months, because we had Sagittarius, Mercury, your ruler, in Sagittarius, that went retrograde. So confusing, or miscommunications with partners, or a partnership, maybe an intimate partnership. And then um, we had the Capricorn season, which was also your joint finances with a partner, or maybe a business partner. It could have been a platonic partner. Um, and I'll discuss that a little bit more as we had Mars in Cancer, which is your second house of job, income, and your value system. That was that you spent a lot, or you felt like you maybe lost a lot of money between September and October, or um, and November. Mars was transiting Cancer, and it did oppose Pluto in Capricorn. And again, Capricorn is your eighth house of joint finances. Um, so that opposition is what started the dust storm, what started the chaos. And that was exact on November 3rd. Um, that was pretty explosive. So something regarding your second house of income, your job, your income that you bring home, let's say, or your value system, was in complete dead smack opposition in regards to a partner's income or joint finances, or there could have been some kind of an inheritance issue, um, or a tax issue, or maybe government benefits, that this opposition became really furious. Mars is the god of war, and is the ruler of Aries. Aries is the warrior, and Aries for you, I believe, is your 11th house. Let me just make sure of friends, groups, and associations. And where are you? Yeah, and that had something to do in the mix as well. So either a partner felt that you were spending way too much money, and felt that because of the joint finances, that you were spending more than you were bringing, and you were maybe dipping into their income or something, or you could have felt that way. Um, but if it was the first way around, there were accusations flying left and right, especially from a partner, saying that something about your friendship or group or a circle was involved, and because the eighth house is the house of being possessive too. It's a house of taboo, and or value systems could have been, you know, gone through the ringer. Um, so that firestorm that started also had something to do with family, a family affair, or um, maybe a parent, or maybe your home, your physical home. But there was some kind of a, like a group, a circle of of me, us versus them, or something like that. Now, after that, like I said, that dust that kicked up, then Mars went into Leo, and Leo is your third house of communication, community, commuting, um, siblings, cousins, um, social media, vision, even your eyesight, and a language or your need to be heard. And of course, you are Gemini. You rule all sorts of communications and agreements, and so forth. And you do rule over siblings. So for you, Gemini, siblings are almost like your children. They're very, very important to you. And when Mars transited Leo, something about for most of you, something about a sibling or maybe a cousin that might have been in a speed to do something, just rushing. You try to like slow them down, or try to speak with them, like because there was a problem going on with this maybe sibling or cousin, or it could have been a friend that's almost like a brother or a sister to you, that was racing towards something, and you try to slow them down, but to no avail. Um, or if it has to do with your communication devices, and especially with Uranus in your 12th house, maybe a text went to the wrong person, or something of that nature. Whatever the case might have been, you had a lot of issues and problems going on, is what I'm trying to say. But the most potent one was the Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn. So your second and eighth house, your job and income and value system, and a partner's income and a mortgage, or sometimes with family involved and all that. And we came to December. Mars started retrograding back in Leo. So whatever happened with maybe a sibling or a friend that's like a sibling to you, or your communication devices, that forward action, that heat started to calm down. And December, we saw three separate discussions or compromises start to take place. One in the very first week of December, then the second one around Christmas with the solstice, and which brings us now to this new moon in Capricorn on the 30th, or New Year's Eve. This is the ongoing story about this dust storm. That's a new way forward, or your wish for a new way forward. A lot has changed. The the deep dark trials and tribulations you had with this joint finances issue, that's behind you now. Um, but there's still a need to have some sort of a compromise, a need to move forward in some way, whether to agree to disagree or to agree with a new solution. And this new Capricorn moon is either being presented with a new opportunity for some kind of a compromise, or you are hoping and seeding something for a new way forward with joint finances, a mortgage, taxes, or a government benefit, or even inheritance. That you will see the fruition of 4 to 6 months down the line. Um, some of you also might have lost someone, maybe someone you were taking care of, um, and condolences to that, or a partnership could have ended, and you guys started working on separating joint finances, or the mortgage or the house. Some of you could have been doing that. Others could have actually that Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn could have been very exciting. You could have gotten engaged around that time, or started going steady with someone, and setting a date of some kind. Um, so it could have been exciting, and then you started becoming really busy with that. Um, but that's how the year has ended, and there's much more, but just to give you the main themes now, starting in January. So in January, we start off right off the bat on the 2nd with Mars being retrograde in Leo, that will oppose Pluto again. This is an ongoing story. This opposition between Mars and Pluto started, like I said, uh, it was exact in November, but it started applying pressure in October, and it has been building. Well, it became exact in November, then it started releasing. Now it's building up again. You could have even felt that the last week of December, and especially now New Year's Eve and going on, you're going to feel it because we are going to have another exact opposition between Mars and Pluto. And Mars is the god of war. Mars only knows forward action and heat. Um, and Pluto is the god of destruction. He's the god of the underworld, and he faces off with Mars. Mars is fearless, absolutely fearless. But Pluto is so confident and is the god of destruction. He just says, "Well, come at me, I'll take you." So we're gearing up for another explosive opposition. But Mars is retrograde in Leo, which is your third house of communication, um, siblings, and commuting. So having it be retrograde, it's not as powerful, um, and it drudges going backwards. Mars hates going backwards. So even when he's going backwards, he's actually lifting up the hood and checking some more stuff and going deep and under, and seeing what the issue is because he wants to go forward. Now, these degrees that Mars is going, because Mars doesn't usually go retrograde every few years or so. And with this Mars retrograde, both in Cancer and Leo, so your money sector, your family, your communication, siblings, partnership, there's something there that uh, Mars is concerned with. It's going to keep going back and forth until there's some kind of a resolution because God, in His wisdom, the universe, it needs us to solve this situation because there's new energies, future energies coming in. We have three major planets that are going to take us into the future. And in order for us to go into the future, we don't want to go into the future with luggage. You don't want to go with half of your heart into the future. Because as the saying goes, if you hold on to both, you will lose both. So Mars and other, well, especially Mars and other planets, they go retrograde um, over the same degree over and over again. Now Mars is going to be retrograde. It started retrograde in December and will not finish its retrograde all the way until February, and then it goes direct again all the way up to April and May. So we have a 6-month Mars in the same two signs. So there's something there that needs a resolution and a new way forward, and we will get there. But just on the 2nd, since it is your Leo, your third house of communication, the only thing I'm going to be asking you guys to be aware and be cautious of is commuting. So if you're driving or any kind of that would be serious. So be careful of that. The other thing is any communication. You still have Uranus in your 12th house of secrets. So be careful of communication, and because family is involved, you don't want to say things you regret. Um, and siblings and siblings are also involved. You want to be careful with your communication. So what I would advise is self-restraint, discipline. That'll work really well. There's this author, I forget his name. It's he said one thing: when people disrespect you, actually um, the most effective response is to just be completely silent and look at them, because then they realize. In any case, so that's on the 2nd, um, and then on the same day we have Venus entering Pisces, your 10th house of career, status, and reputation. So that'll start. Venus attracts money, love, fortune, and fame. Um, so Venus entering your 10th house of career and status, you are going to have more supportive authority figures, or your career is going to get a little thumbs up with Venus and help you with that. Now on the 6th, of January, we will have Mars retrograde re-enter Cancer from Leo. So we still have that opposition going on with Pluto, yeah. Um, but this time it goes back into Cancer, and your second house of money and job and income. Um, and then on the same day we have Mercury in Sagittarius that will square Neptune in Pisces. So your ideal idea of your career and status, will your partner is just communicating with you that your ideal idea of career and status is not sitting well with them. So again, it's something about an issue with job and income and joint finances. But have heart. Chiron in Aries stationed direct and is now starting slowly to go direct in Aries. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So your the 11th house, Aries is your 11th house, and the 11th house is your, also besides friends and groups, it's also your hopes, visions, and dreams of the future. And you you have had a discussion, like a healing discussion. Maybe it was almost cathartic at the end of December about all this stuff. But here on the 6th, when now Mars takes over Cancer and opposes, is still having that opposition with Pluto, and your partner is not accepting of your ideal career and status or money issues. Chiron is working its magic in the background, um, to find some kind of reconciliation or way forward. Um, then we have the lunar nodes, um, leave Aries and Libra and enter Pisces and Virgo. Okay, before we go into the nodal axes, I forgot a couple of things with Mars being in Cancer retrograde, which is your second house again. You might have, like I said, lost money or are thinking about leaving a job. Like I said, you're not really happy. You might have already left a job and you're short on money or something like that. Um, what Mars retrograde in Cancer is that you'll be saving money, or you'll be selling things to recoup losses, and hang on to that faith, because we do have Jupiter coming into Cancer in June, and Jupiter is a planet of largesse, expansion, and optimism, and you will be getting either a new job with a lucrative income, um, or you might be just benefiting from all this, from maybe a partner's income. But it's your second house, so it's more about you getting a job, and since it's in Cancer, it has to do with something about family as well. Um, so there might be a business opportunity in that regard. But yeah, hang on to that thought. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Now, on the 13th, we do have a powerful full moon in Cancer. And this can be a couple of scenarios. You may quit your job on the 13th, or you might be setting up like a quitting timeline for you. Um, or like I said, if you're trying to recoup money, you might be selling something significant here, um, and you might start on a new budget so that you can save money. But whatever it is a either an ending, or it could be a culmination of your past efforts here in regards to job and income. Then we'll jump into now the nodal axes. So for the past 18 months to 2 years, the North Node has been in Aries, a fire sign, very individualistic, freedom-loving sign, and the South Node has been in Libra. Uh, Libra is the ruler of relationships and partnerships. So they've been opposing each other for the past 2 years. Now, Aries is your 11th house of friends, groups, circles, your hopes and visions of the future, of your future. And Libra is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling is inclusive in that. So something regarding your hopes, visions of the future, or a friend. Well, the first scenario could be that you were trying to make a friend into a lover, maybe, or your hopes and visions of the future. Um, and something about your fifth house of love and romance or children has been in opposition. So your need to be um, free, or be more individual in a relationship, more wanting that freedom. And Libra has been your fifth house. Maybe a lover or romance has really needed you, or has been needy, or it was a codependent relationship, or maybe because it was a child, they needed you, and you've been just striving to be free of that, or find some freedom within this relationship. Well, yay, you get your wish. We all get our wish, because that will stop. That codependency, that neediness will stop on the 11th, as the nodal axes will move into Pisces and Virgo. The North Node will go into Pisces, your 10th house of career and status, and the South Node will be in Virgo, which is your fourth house of home and family. Now, yes, it'll be an 18-month to 2-year opposition between these two. But well, first the North Node will go into Pisces, and you'll be wanting some kind of freedom from your career status. Like I said, maybe you're really hating this career thing, or wanting something more idealistic. And your fourth house, your home, your family, your parents, or because of your physical home, that's where your your forte is, fourth house of home and family. But because you're wanting this freedom within your career and status, it's opposing your fourth house of home and family. Your fourth house of home and family is trying to pull you back to that, and saying, well, if you change careers, this will endanger the relationship of home and family. And the North Node is saying, you've already mastered home and family. You need to release that and go towards your career, because then you will get this ideal career, and you'll be making more money, and your fourth house of home and family will benefit. That's the goal of this 18-month transit, of getting you to that. And at the end of that, it might something might end here, and it's most likely something regarding your fourth house of home and family. Again, if you guys are strong, it might just that codependency and needyship in your fourth house of home and family will end, or a relationship there ends, and you're off with your career. Now, that is that. Now, let me just, sorry, I should have set it up. Okay, I just want to make sure I got them. All right, on the 16th of January, the Sun in Capricorn this time will oppose Mars in Cancer, which is retrograde. This is another powerful opposition, but it's a different kind of energy than Mars opposing Pluto. The Sun is the nurturing father. Excuse me, the good father. So the Sun always wants to illuminate what is wrong, and not try to destroy, and say, well, let's work it out this way. So this opposition, there's a challenging oppositions, which will be on the 2nd, with Mars versus Pluto, and like it was on November 2nd. But this opposition, and there's good oppositions, and this opposition is good on the 16th between the Sun and Mars, because everybody gets something out of this opposition. Okay. Um, on the 18th, Saturn will conjunct Venus in Pisces. Nice. First of all, Saturn loves Venus, and it's serious about this this relationship. And this is what starts, Gemini. This is what starts you getting what you want regarding your career. This is either a revelation, a message, a discussion of some sort that starts where you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, so pay attention to that. Now, on the 23rd, Mercury in Capricorn will oppose Mars in Cancer. So when we had the on the 16th, the Sun opposing Mars, that was illuminating. Excuse me, something. Illuminating the problem where you can fix it. And then on the 23rd, um, that opportunity that you're going to discuss this way forward between your joint finances and your second house of income. Because on the same day, Mercury in Capricorn will trine also Uranus and Taurus. This is lovely because something regarding your past, or your faith, is giving you like a good communication skill regarding your joint finances. Um, I just want to make sure I got everything I did. So we'll continue. So now we're going to do your 2025 year ahead scope, and I'll only hit on the major major things that will affect you the most. Okay. Uh, First of all, we have Neptune, which is in Pisces. It will shift and go into Aries, and this will be a huge shift for you. So has been in Pisces since Valentine's Day 2012, so 14 years. You've had, like I mentioned before, Saturn come in the last 2 years because something about your career and status um, felt like a vacation for you, but Saturn came in to wake you up, to pull you back to shore, and make you more practical and pragmatic regarding this ideal you kept floating off on. And boundaries. It set up boundaries. Saturn is really actually super beneficial because he helps structure things, and mistakes can be avoided with Saturn. So now Neptune will leave Pisces and enter Aries, and Aries is your 11th house of a friends, groups, associations, and your hopes and visions of the future. And now it'll start feeling like a vacation. Your friends and groups. You might have lost friends, but during this time, yes, you'll have new friends that'll come in, a new group, and they'll be the fiery type of friends. They'll be very exciting. Aries is a fire sign, and you're an air sign, and air and fire just ignites, and it becomes very exciting for you. And if you think back to 2010, 2011. You did have a friend or a group of circle that was that kind, and it was very, very invigorating for you, especially for Geminis. I mean, I know there were problems then, believe me, but the thrill is what you seek. And it and Neptune, back in 2010, 2011, it was Uranus and Aries, so very fiery, very abrupt. But now it's Neptune, so it won't be as fiery and abrupt. It'll be very dreamy, and like I said, your friends and groups, it will start becoming like an escape for you, but it'll be a very exciting escapade, if you will. Um, and as you start enjoying that and drifting off to the sirens calls, um, a month and a half, a few weeks later, Saturn comes in, leaves Pisces and comes into Aries, and and you might fall with a thump. Saturn does the reality check, the wake up calls. So with Saturn coming into Aries, you're still enjoying this escapade, but Saturn is uh, warning you regarding that aspect, especially if you are partnered already. Um, Saturn just gives you wake up calls that, if you escape too much at sea with this and you have no boundaries, this friend or friends may take advantage of you, may not respect your boundaries, and you may lead somebody on, and vice versa. So what Saturn is trying to do is throw you and give you an anchor so that you can throw it down if you start floating off and you become disillusioned, or you have other problems with relationships in your life. And if you are turning a romantic person or a lover into a friend, Saturn will give you some wake up calls too. Because with Neptune, if it is a lover or a romance, the thing is they're always elusive. And just depending on the circumstances, they can never really be pinned down. Uh, and you might have experienced that back in 2010, 2011, 2012, especially, um, where you were being elusive for some reason. Now you're going to experience it on the other end. So that's why Saturn is coming in, just to protect you with some boundaries. Uh, and right after that, then we have Uranus shifting from Taurus, your 12th house of secrets and behind the scenes, of the past. It'll shift into your sign. Now, before Uranus changes signs, um, it's been, so far, it's been kind of quiet, but as it transverses the last, what we call the critical 29th degree of Taurus, you might see a couple more shocking things regarding your past or secrets. Um, the 12th house also rules drug and alcohol use, any confining spaces, and again, faith, or if you're taking care of someone. So there might be some more revelatory, shocking surprises before Uranus is done with Taurus. Um, but then, after it's done with that, it enters your first house of self. And what will happen with that is that you will be very into your appearance, your physical appearance, your profile, your hairstyle, your wardrobe. You're going to start changing your wardrobe. If you were not into the selfie thing, you will think that it was like, why didn't anybody tell me about this? You're going to be all about selfies. Um, if you are not into makeup, you'll definitely be enjoying that. If you were, then you might go the natural look. It's about trinkets and jewelry, your armor. And for you, because you are a Gemini, one thing it might be is you have a dual nature. So you can be super empathetic, like almost feel what the other person is going through, and then you have your other side. So whatever Gemini you are, the most distinguished Gemini, if you're like maybe shy and reserved, uh, a new wild side of you will come out. Your other twin that has been hidden will come out, in full force and abruptly and in a shocking and surprising way, because it's Uranus. Uranus does not do anything subtle. Now, thinking back to when Neptune changes signs from Pisces to Aries, you might not really even feel it right away, because it's subtle. Neptune is the god of sea and the oceans, and it's smooth flowing, even though it's entering Aries. But Uranus is the planet of shock, surprise, electricity, and storms. So it does things in a shocking way, and abruptly. So you will be changing something about your physical appearance, about your profile, about your wardrobe, and all that I mentioned in spurts. Or, like I said, your hidden twin will come out when least expected. So you'll be enjoying this ride. It'll be so exhilarating for you. That's why I told you, you went through this deep dark uh, stuff with joint finances, taboos, and your career, and all that is all behind you. That was 2024 and beyond. But this year, we really will feel this shift of energy. We've been into water and earth signs all this time, and now we're going into fire and air signs. So quite uplifting, quite exhilarating, quite your alley. This is your forte. So that'll happen, and you will find this confidence, this renewed vigor. But like I said, it'll happen in spurts and in shocking ways, so that partnerships, relationships, family members, siblings will be shocked, will be surprised. And you might have people being like, what are you doing? um, but but just as you are enjoying that, and all that, Uranus does stop and go retrograde over those first few degrees, I think even 1 degree of Gemini, to revisit what you've changed, or what you're planning on changing. um, uh, and because we have Neptune and Saturn here too, well, in Aries. But if you were thinking about plastic surgery, for example, which is cool, it's great. I think it's fun. Um, but you will be revisiting, like, okay, what is the dangers of that? Or if diet, like the new pen diets, whatever it is, all the fat, you'll start learning about the dangers of that. So you'll be revisiting how exhilarating it was, but then it'll stop. You'll stop and you'll revisit, like, all good sometimes is not that good, and then it'll retrograde back into your 12th house of the past and your alone time. And that's it's in well, because you'll be revisiting things with that, as well as Neptune and Saturn will go back into Pisces. Uh, so again, you'll be revisiting your career and status, and reputation sector, and it all falls in with this new you that you're experimenting with, um, as far as status and reputation. And also because many of you have started new jobs or will be starting new jobs, it will retrograde back into your career sector to see if that is what you really wanted. Because what I am going to discuss is a couple of um, trines. Well, what I started to say was, if you remember, in January, on the 18th, towards the end of January, Saturn conjuncts Venus in Pisces. You, like I told you, whatever that you were dealing with as far as this career or authority figure that was withholding what you wanted your ideal career to be, Saturn conjuncting Venus is giving you a thumbs up in that area, and you started seeing, oh well, actually I might get it. And what happens is It'll happen in like three stages, because on February 25th, Saturn will conjoin Mercury in Pisces, and um, and then you start getting what you wanted out of your career. The rules here are outlined about responsibility. Like, okay, you worked so hard for it. Saturn saying you worked so hard for it, and you really wanted this. Okay, here it is, but um, I just want to let you know these are the rules, and there is responsibility, heavy responsibility that goes with that. And then the second uh, thing about this reward from Saturn regarding your career is exemplified on March 12th, when Saturn is Kazimi. So Saturn conjoins the Sun in Pisces. Um, but here you will feel like the thrill of the chase is gone. And Gemini, you are all about the thrill of the chase, and you'll realize there's some heavy responsibility here, and you'll start thinking, questioning, is this really what I wanted? Okay, Saturn is saying, is putting it in front of you on a platter and saying, all right, you worked hard for it. This is the responsibility. Is this what you really want? So you'll start contemplating that. And then the next and last step of this contemplation will come around April 7th, when Saturn conjuncts Venus in Pisces. Excuse me. And you will realize that the heavy responsibility regarding the decision, and especially about a partnership, maybe an association with a career, um, might be coming to you with like, all right, I scratched your back, now you need to, let's have you scratch mine. And you're you may be like, well, that's a heavy duty responsibility. And remember, when Saturn retrogrades, that is when you may end this association, this partnership that has to do with this career, or you may end this career choice altogether, but you'll be revisiting that, because Geminis really don't do confrontations. and and you've gone through Capricorn with the eighth house of taboos, so you've learned the lessons there, and this is one of the heavy duty responsibilities here is this associations that's related, that's saying, well, you need to pay me back or something. So you don't do confrontations, but you do fast talk. You might be fast talking your way out of this. In any case, you will have a chance to revisit this when it goes retrograde. um, Now, on the 24th of May, that Saturn enters Aries, and this energy lifts you up, and out of this conflict, or this muddy water that you might be dealing with, and actually shows you how to deal with something that might be problematic, like I mentioned before. So you'll be learning these lessons, and when it goes retrograde, you'll apply those lessons. Now, on Jupiter, on June 9th, yay! This is what I was talking about. Jupiter enters Cancer and your money house and job sector. So again, you might be setting up a second income stream, so that if what you have, you'll leave once this takes off the ground, or you might find a brand new opportunity, a job that is way more lucrative. And it is Cancer, so it family might be involved. So maybe something regarding family food, because Cancer rules that, home and hearth. Or you might be going into partnership with family or a business endeavor with that. But Jupiter will be blessing and protecting your job and income sector and expanding it, for the next year. And you can think back to 12 years ago, you had the same luck with your job and income. Of course, 12 years ago, different energies, but specifically with your income sector, you had some kind of expansion there. On the 15th, we have Mars in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. And this is the ending of Uranus in Taurus, in your 12th house. So uh, your communication regarding the past here. Something might come up from your past, and you're trying to explain maybe your way out of it. But squares are, yes, tense, but there's room to maneuver here, and nobody knows how to maneuver than the way you communicate. Gemini, you're as fast talking as Aries is fast thinking. Um, On June 24th, we have Jupiter Kazemi and Jupiter conjuncts the sun, and it's in Cancer. So this, if you haven't, uh, and I don't gamble, no, no gambling, but play a lot, play lotto, like a dollar lotto, because this is pretty nice. All right, so I explained July 7th, Uranus enters your sign. I explained all about that. Um, August will be really lovely for you, especially on the 11th. So if you didn't buy a lotto ticket when on the 24th of June with Jupiter Kazemi in Cancer, definitely buy one on August 11th. Gemini, oh my God, Venus conjoins Jupiter in Cancer. Oh my God. I want to be your friend. This will be a big money thing or a big job step up. This is really, really cool. Definitely buy at least a dollar lotto. Don't gamble though. Remember, no gambling. Um, but yeah, this is amazing. August 11th. And then Venus in Leo trines Neptune in Aries, Venus in Leo sextiles Uranus in Gemini, your image. And then on the 28th, Uranus in your sign sextiles Neptune in Aries. Oh my God, you're on a roll in August. Woohoo! Very powerful. You will attract, well, especially on the 28th, though, you will attract either a very, very creative friend who becomes something of maybe a business partner, or a partner in crime, Gemini. Oh, or it could be an elusive friend or a friend that tempts you, or you could tempt them because either you or they are not available. Something in that mix. So just be careful of your judgments here on the 28th. But August, just enjoy every minute of it. It's going to be really cool. And then just as you were on this thrill, on this ride, in September on the 1st, Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces. The excitement of the summer, though, could have been very, very overwhelming for you. And you actually, because you were so used to, like the cautious and cool, now you're like, oh my God, get me off of this roller coaster. I'm laughing with you, Gemini, because I know what you've been through with Capricorn and Pisces and Saturn. Oh, dark, dark years behind you. But it'll be so overwhelming that you will actually be relieved for this retrograde period with Saturn and Neptune going back into Pisces and Uranus going back into Taurus, because you catch a breather and you gear up. And remember, there's there's still other things that are still have to be solved and reconciled with, and found resolution with, um, because because we're going to, like in November, you'll go into your partnership house, and with these retrogrades, and especially with these critical 29th degrees, it like I said, it can manifest in you leaving a relationship or a relationship ends. um, so so or if you had left the relationship, or a relationship left you, this is when they come back or you go back and you try to work it out, so that you become a really strong couple, going into the future, when the planets start moving forward again into the future, or you release, you find resolution between you two. So uh, we also have on September 7th, a total lunar eclipse in Pisces. So this is when you make that decision about that job, whether you want it or not, or you end it because you have something else set up. Uh, um, October has some other stuff happening. We have Venus in Virgo, your family and home, opposing Saturn in Pisces. Again, your ideal career, and Venus in Libra, your romance and children's sector will trine Uranus in your sign. So your friends, your lover or romance or children are really liking this new reinvigorated you, and that might add to your appeal, if you're trying to salvage a relationship. And then on the 22nd, like I said, Neptune goes back into Pisces. And since the total lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 7th, you might start rethinking which way you want to go forward with your career path now. Um, uh, because, like I said, you want to go into the future with a complete resolution. You want to be open and empty so that you're like a vacuum and the universe just fills you right up. Remember, if you hold on to two things, you'll lose both. So you want to release the past. And then on the 29th, Mercury in Sagittarius will oppose Uranus in your sign, Gemini. Um, so on the 29th of October, if you have been having problems with a partnership or a relationship, uh, here is the clue of either talking with this partner or a relationship to maybe set them at ease of this new you, because they might be scared that they're losing you because you're changing suddenly, or this is the talk that starts with dissolving this relationship or finding a resolution with leaving this relationship, because it'll be regarding the recent changes with you. And on November 9th, Mars in Sagittarius will then oppose Uranus in your sign. And this day, sparks will fly. Mars is the god of war and heat and action, and you'll feel a lot of heat from a partner or a relationship regarding your new you. This could be volatile and disagreement. Um, Partnership, like I said, may start seeing the ending, or it might end here, or it could be a very exciting partnership forming. The excitement of the opposition could be a new way forward, or uh, a new steady date, or an engagement, or a marriage. Uh, so it can be that. On the 7th, Uranus re enters Taurus, and the partnership is temporarily saved by the bell that Taurus rings as Uranus retrogrades back. So, like I said, you are everything's going back, so we can revisit the past, work it out, so we can move forward. Because on the 9th, Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius and Scorpio. So even we had it this last year, Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. Mercury doesn't always retrograde in Sagittarius, but it's doing this back to back 24 and 25 years, or 2024 and 2025 back to back, because again, something about a partnership. You either move forward with the same heart and mind, or you end it. In December on the 8th, and the 14th, Mars in Sagittarius will take turns squaring Saturn and Neptune regarding your um, your career and status and reputation. uh November and December, you want to lay low, because this energy will be coming at you. And it might not necessarily be like a wife or a husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It can be somebody else who is a partner who can hold up a mirror to you. It can be a business partnership, it can be a platonic partnership. But again, it's the rest of December has more Sagittarius, Mercury, Venus squares to Neptune and Saturn, and trines to Chiron, the wounded healer. So this is coming to a beautiful resolution, reconcilement, or a new way forward, Gemini. But you've been through a lot, and you will be rewarded big time. And you will enjoy this thrilling ride. You will feel like you're, yes, back in the saddle during the late summer months, and then the latter half of the month, like I said, you want to move forward, but you got to take care of this past stuff. All right, Gemini, I hope you enjoyed this. If you found it informative, if not, entertaining, at least. So, if you did, if you can smash the like button, it really does help me. My channel, I'm just starting out. And if you're not subscribed, maybe think about subscribing, because I have the Pluto in Aquarius dedicated videos that I'll upload for each sign that takes us 5 years in the future. And as I upload this on New Year's Eve, have a very joyous and beneficial New Year. Take care. Okay, Gemini, here we go. So I'm recording this. I'm uploading it. Hopefully, it'll be by New Year's Eve, and next year starts with you so over it. Even New Year's Eve, you're really not into doing the social scene, and if you end up doing it, you won't really feel like your normal social butterfly. Um, if you guys are working, you'll actually enjoy that more. Sad to say, but that's how most of the signs will feel like for New Year's Eve, except maybe Virgo and Pisces. And the second thing that'll be included in this video is three themes to 2025, which will be, we'll start out with the very, very recent past slash present. Then we'll be thrust into the future, and then we are going to go back to the past. Um, and I will, when I do your January and year ahead alignment, I will be concentrating on Mercury, since Mercury is your ruler. I'll also be concentrating on Saturn, since he's been transiting your 10th house of career and status. And because he's given you the last couple of years, you've really had it with Saturn up to here. And he's really tested and tried you. So I'll be discussing that, and then I'll also be discussing Uranus, and Uranus is in your 12th house of secrets and the past, your faith, and all that good stuff. But I'll get into that. Then I will be talking about the new shifts that are coming in, and then I'll go into the January 2025 alignment in detail, as this is a horoscope for January 2025 and the year ahead. And then I'll also be discussing the main aspects that'll affect you in 2025. I won't go through all of them, but I'll try to get the most important ones. And then the last thing I want to say is Pluto and Aquarius. Uh, I will not be really discussing Pluto and Aquarius in detail. Maybe I'll only mention it once, and maybe this will be it. Aquarius is your ninth house of long distance travel, foreigners or foreign countries, higher education, publishing, philosophy, and the World Wide Web. So you have had either a group of you, or maybe new friends, or a group of friends, um, have given you a vision of this, um, of traveling, maybe, or maybe you're going off to higher education, or maybe you're pursuing a master's or a doctorate or what have you. And that started on November 19th of just last year. Well, you could have started working on that a little bit before that, but January 19th was when Pluto dipped into Aquarius, and that'll be very, very uplifting for you. If you've heard my November and December scopes, it'll be very uplifting for you, and you will be traveling, or pursuing higher education, or you'll be involved in and with foreigners, and maybe you guys are into publishing. But yeah, that'll be the big new thing. But Pluto is an outer planet that moves really, really slow. I think we're only at 1 degree so far of Aquarius, so there's not much to say, and he doesn't really move that much into 2025. And the last reason I'm not going to do anything on Pluto and Aquarius is because I have completed a dedicated Pluto and Aquarius for all signs. And I actually take you guys 5 years into the future, believe it or not, just so you can get a taste of it, because it's a 20-year transit. Um, but I chose not to upload it until I got the 2025 year ahead horoscopes up. Then I'll be uploading those dedicated Pluto and Aquarius for the next 5 years for each sign. So if you're not subscribed, this is a good time to subscribe so you can be notified of that. Okay, so that's what the video will include. Maybe a little bit more or less, what have you, but that's what it'll include.